Reporter article. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but after Chappell Roan did her, won her Grammys, and then she won two, right? When she won the Best New Artist Grammy, and then she got up on stage and she called out the industry. The Hollywood Reporter felt the need to do a whole article, but they had a guest reporter that came in that's in the industry, a music executive by the name of Jeff Rabon, and was basically bashing her in this interview. So I do want to read y'all a little bit of what he had to say, just to give y'all a little bit of context in regards of the story. I was like, I got a lot of chaperone windows and stuff open. So, because it was like a bunch of stuff that was going on. So, basically what happened was, and so Hollywood Reporter is actually being called out for their article on her because they criticized her, calling her, first of all, they gave her a whole name. I was like, first of all, this slander is shady. They call her Chappell Grown. And we've been, look, I call the Chappell Moan. So we've had things on here where we have been very critical over Chappell and a lot of the whining and bitching that she has done in regards of a lot of stuff going on previously. However, in this situation, I am Team Chappell on this because I'm like, this feels like some insurance mess where it's just like, oh, well, so those of us who work jobs or whatever the case is, we just want like a way for, if we're working for a company, the company to take care of the people that work for them. Is that too much to ask for? But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to always find a way to not pay people their worth. And that's basically what her overall complaint was. So, yes, the Hollywood Reporter is being called out for their article criticizing Chappell Roan for having their guest columnist call out the Good Luck Babe singer for dragging the music industry for not taking care of their artists. Now, after Chappell Roan's historic Grammy speech, where she called out the music industry to offer artists a living wage and health care, the Hollywood Reporter has published a guest column from music exec Jeff Rabon calling Roan too green, too, too green, too, and I think they put too many times. Too green and too uninformed by saying her speech after winning Best New Artist was a hackneyed and plagiarized script of an artist basking in industry love while broadcasting naivete and taking aim at the very machine that got her there. Talk about tone deaf. But yeah, so hold on. So we have a bit of the article. Let's read a little bit of it. We're not going to read the whole damn thing. But I just want to give you a taste of the article. If you want to read the full article, you definitely do that after the show. Excuse me. So they said, what would Prince say or Tom Petty? They fought for their souls and for the rights of their music, putting their careers in jeopardy for what they believed was artistic integrity, the hallmark of greatness. And when you've been around long enough, you know the real substantive evidence doesn't come from speeches. It comes from where the rubber meets the road, life and limb, harm's way, risking it all with action. Whether it's Prince wresting back control of his master recordings at the height of his popularity, or Petty funding his iconic album Damn the Torpedoes himself, and then refusing to release it, and then taking on his label for raising the price on his LP, Skin in the Game earns a seat at the table. But the table requires a willingness to leave blood on the floor and to put the money where their mouth is. Well, she's successful because people like her music. However, also, if we're going to talk about Prince, let's talk about Prince because Prince has called out the industry many a times and even went on at a point of changing his name, refused to go by Prince. He went as a symbol. We had to call him artist formerly known as Prince. How easy we forget history in this country, especially when it comes to music industry, music history. He wrote slave on his face because he was a slave to the industry. He had broken his back, giving y'all so much of himself, so much music, so much iconic stuff, so much genius, and y'all treated him like he was shit under your damn shoe. And he was tired of it. And he called out the company. I mean, the industry. The industry has always been, I understand, like, when it comes down to making music or whatever, that when you sign yourself to a label, you're giving them money to be able to record the music and all the other stuff that comes with that, and they have to pay that back, which they should be doing. But then you put them in these horrible contracts where it's like, I have to stream your music 3 times in a row in order for you to make a cent. Like, what is that? How does anybody make a living wage off of the music that they've created? I'm breaking my back. I'm paying all this money to record this record. I'm having to go on tour. A lot of stuff comes with that. You got to pay the crew. You got to pay for the stuff for the stage. You have to pay for the costumes, the dancers, the band, all that other stuff. Yes, it's coming out of your pocket. But it's like I got to pay all these people, and then when it's time for me to get a piece of the pie, I'm broke. We've heard this story many a times. So they're saying it's like, yeah, we're willing to go hard for you and to put in the work so that we can live our dream. But why are we constantly being ripped off? No matter how hard I work, I'm still with no money. Artists have to go into doing other things in order to be able to have the success that they have. Or you get lucky to a point where you're like Taylor Swift, who has found a way to navigate through this shitstorm of this industry and has been able to certify herself as making $1 billion from her music alone. She's one of the lucky ones. Everybody else is out here, busting their hump. So yeah, so what else they said? Because like I said, I don't want to read the whole thing. So they said it seems Chappell wants to turn wants to turn labels into landlords, bosses, and insurance providers. Have you ever tried to get your expenses reimbursed from a major label? Yet somehow you want them in charge of healthcare claims, as if labels want next year's winner to shout them down as slumlords in front of 60 million viewers. The architect of such a system, Motown's trailblazing Berry Gordy, received his fair share of criticism for Hitsville's unprecedented success, but the artists were happy with their royalties and credits, right? Exactly. Now they said Roan gets respect and true appreciation for her artistry and gumption, but is far too green and too uninformed to be the agent of change she aspires to be today. She may evolve quickly, perhaps build a confab of power-wielding playmakers, or even pass the torch to another leader to be, but her Grammy speech was a hackneyed and plagiarized script of an artist basking in industry love while broadcasting naivete and taking aim at the very machine that got her there. If labels are responsible for artists' wages, healthcare, and overall well-being, where does it end and personal responsibility begin? Could Chris Blackwell put a mint on her pillow and tuck her in at night too? There is no moral or ethical obligation by any standard that holds labels responsible for the allocation of additional funds beyond advances and royalties. So that's where we'll leave it at for now, because I feel like we don't need to go in and read the whole article, but y'all pretty much got a gist of what he's basically trying to put out here. So, of course, a lot of people did not like what he had to say, and they dragged him over it. One of the things I did not like about the article, he basically tried to talk her down like she was a bunch of nothing. I didn't like his approach in this article because the whole mint on the pillow and tuck her in at night like she's a child, to me, that pisses me off. It's like she's well enough to know what's going on for her to speak out on her experiences. And if she didn't know what the hell she was talking about, then why did people twice her age stand up and applaud an agreement? So maybe you need to answer that. There was a lot of people that was in that audience that jumped up and was and pretty much agreed with her and what she was saying. It wasn't just because she's a new artist, and technically she's not a new artist. Chappell been making music since she was 14 years old, and she even talked about her experience of being dropped during the pandemic and how she had no experience out there. She had no kind of, there was no artist development, there was no training, there was nothing for her to fall back on when she was literally out here left by the wayside, broke, trying to figure out what to do with her career. Then he also said that the kid basically called her the kid who didn't get picked for dodgeball, telling there's still room for puffy dogs and ice cream in this story. Like basically saying that you expect the world to be full of lollipops and rainbows. Life is hard. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and figure it out. That's the overall attitude that I'm sick and tired of a lot of these execs, these oligarchs, these billionaires, these people that work in these corporate worlds. I'm tired of y'all with that bullshit in regards to the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That is a lie that our society continues to feed people. You don't have any intent of people pulling themselves up by their bootstraps to make something of themselves. There are very few out here who've been lucky enough to do that. For the most part, we live in a system that is broken, that is intent to keep people believing that if you work hard enough, that you too can be a part of the elite. It's bullshit. So stop it. And he knows that. But for him to get up in here and say that mess, that just pissed me all the way off. But I wasn't just the only one that he pissed off. Because a lot of people went over on Instagram and dragged his ass for what he had to say. Now, hold on. Let me pull up the Instagram post. So, yeah, the Instagram thing that we had to say, he said, it seems hashtag Chappell wants to turn labels into landlords, bosses, insurance providers. Have you ever tried to get your expenses reimbursed from a major label? And I read that part. It said Roan gets respect and true appreciation for her artistry and gumption, but is far too green and too uninformed. Oh yeah, so this whole thing is basically from the page that he had written. Um, that whole paragraph that I read, y'all. So I don't need to read that again. But I do have some of the comments that the people was making. So producer and songwriter Justin Tranter, who actually like him, he's written songs with Chappell Roan. He's also written songs for Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Janelle Monáe, and Lady Gaga, said, please delete this now. Filmmaker Sarah Ann Mass, who was one of the first women to come forward about Harvey Weinstein's abuse, said the following. This is such an entitled, condescending, misogynistic article. Ew. The actor Jacqueline Taboni from the L Word Generation Q added that the column was outrageously misguided. Now, filmmaker, DJ, and Los Angeles hospitality industry poet Marsha Molinari added, wow, this is trash, while actor and filmmaker Tommy Dorfman said this is the most insane take, and then just cut off an eye. I'm like, they ain't saying nothing else. Now, y'all know Miss Cuckoo herself, Cynthia Lee Fontaine from Drag Race, had a lot to say about the article. She said, I just can't believe what I read. This person just criticized CR when her main message in her acceptance speech was for health insurance for artists, benefits that really matter for the well-being of the artist. Jeff, please don't make me start. So then at the end of the day, a lot of people in the comments were calling out THR to delete the guest column and do better. And I feel like, you know what? I do agree with that. First of all, I love you, the Hollywood Reporter. You know, I reference y'all a lot on this show. I'm all about the trades. Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety, Entertainment Weekly. A lot of y'all, I go to y'all for reference in regards of what's going on in the entertainment industry. But for you to post this and allows, why? Because y'all are part of the corporations, y'all are part of the elite, y'all are part of the establishment, that you felt the need to let some idiot from the industry come in and write some stupid article talking down Chappell Roan, who was only asking for a living wage and health care. These people are putting their bodies on the line doing a multitude of shows, flying around the world to entertain millions of their fans. Not at the same time, though. Because, you know, certain people, places got capacity of like 20,000, 40,000. Sometimes you work in the smaller venues, it could be 5,000. But nevertheless, people like Chappell Roan and so many like her are putting their bodies on the line. And the least you could do is take care of them. We hear so many stories about people who have put their bodies through the works just so they can entertain people. How many? Madonna with her ailments, Lady Gaga with her hip problem. Then we had Michael Jackson, who had to go and self-medicate because of the injuries that he was enduring from putting so much of himself into and appeasing these damn labels and making y'all a shit ton of money. Then did we mention Prince? So there's been many of people out here who put their lives on the line every day to entertain us. The least you people can do, besides sucking up all their damn money and getting rich, is give them the health care that they're asking for. She ain't asked you to just, throw $1 billion in my damn wallet by me doing the bare minimum. That's not what she asking. She asked for health care for her and her fellow peers in the industry. Is that too much to ask? Apparently it is, because then the Hollywood Reporter had to come out with this tight-ass article. So, this is a problematic-ass article, and whatever, child. So, keep doing you, Chappell. I don't feel no ways tired about what you said. Like, you didn't say nothing ignorant or wrong, but I just can't believe that this is what we're dealing with now in this whole situation. But it should not come as a surprise. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to Chappell Roan speaking out against the industry and the fact that the Hollywood Reporter had the nerve, the gumption, the full-on unliterated gall to allow some moron in the industry to windmill hard for them not wanting to give insurance to their artists. So more people need to speak up on this and not just leave Chappell out here to dry. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.